begins with a young girl, around 10 to 12 years old. She had horns on her head and wings on her back. Her name was Maleficent, a sweet and charming fairy. She lived in a magical forest, a place she had never left. To her, this forest was the whole world. It's likely she had never come across a human before. But that didn't bother her, she was happy there. The forest was filled with all kinds of mystical creatures, though no humans lived among them. One day, while wandering through the woods, Maleficent spotted a young boy about her age. Curious, she asked, "Who are you? What are you doing here?" The boy told her he was from a nearby kingdom. Maleficent noticed a diamond in the boy's hand and gently took it back. "Let me take you back to your kingdom," she offered. The boy agreed, but then asked, "Will you be my friend? And if I come back to this forest someday, can I play here?" Maleficent replied, "This is a magical forest. It's not safe for you to come here often. But, we'll see." They shook hands, and in that moment, Maleficent felt a sudden jolt, a strange current. It came from the iron ring on the boy's finger. She pulled her hand back and warned him, "Iron burns fairies. Don't wear it if you come back." After that, the boy returned to his kingdom. But the kingdom he came from had other intentions. They desired to take control of the enchanted forest. The boy, whose parents had passed away, continued to visit. Despite coming from rival worlds, he and Maleficent became close friends. The differences between their kingdoms didn't matter to them. The two of them played together often, and as the years passed, their bond only grew stronger. The boy would return again and again, spending time with Maleficent deep in the heart of the forest. While resting in her forest, Maleficent noticed something alarming. A king from a neighboring realm had arrived at the edge of the woods, with a full army, horses, and weapons, clearly intent on taking the enchanted land by force. But Maleficent wasn't just any fairy. She was the guardian of this magical forest. And she knew exactly how to protect it. She rose to her feet, ready to defend her home. Maleficent had grown stronger with time. Standing tall and fearless, she faced the invading king and declared, "You have no right to enter my forest." The king sneered and replied, "I don't need your permission." With a wave of his hand, he gave a brutal command to his army. "I want her dead. Bring me her body." The king's soldiers charged into the forest, but they weren't prepared for what awaited them. From deep within the enchanted woods, strange and powerful creatures emerged, riding beasts of their own, launching a fierce counterattack. The king's army was quickly overwhelmed. Wounded and terrified, the soldiers scattered. Panic spread like wildfire. "This forest is cursed," they cried. "We can't fight against magic." Defeated and humiliated, the king returned to his kingdom. Weakened by age and clearly nearing the end of his reign, he called his people together. Speaking with a tired but desperate voice, he said, "You all know the truth, there is great treasure hidden within that forest. From the beginning, I've told you we must claim it. But now, I no longer have the strength to fight. But I promise you that whoever kills Maleficent, I will marry my daughter to him." Then among them, a boy comes out. He says that I will go there. You will be shocked after hearing that who was that boy. This was Stefan. Means that small boy who plays with Maleficent. Now we see that Stefan goes to the rest to meet Maleficent. After many years he goes there and Maleficent asks him that where were you for many years? Don't you think about our friendship? He says that please forgive me, I was busy, but I didn't forget you. Even now I come here to tell you that our king wants to kill you. Just take care of yourself. I am here for your protection. After it, they start talking. Maleficent looked into Stefan's eyes and softly said, "I forgive you." She had no idea just how dark a human heart could become. She still believed in him, still trusted the boy she once called a friend. But Stefan's heart had long been poisoned by greed. That night, he secretly laced the forest water with a sleeping potion. Unsuspecting, Maleficent drank from it, and soon collapsed. As she lay unconscious, Stefan stood over her with a knife, ready to kill. But in the end, he couldn't do it. Instead, he chose something just as cruel. By morning, Maleficent slowly awoke, only to feel an aching pain in her back. She looked behind her, and froze. Her wings were gone. Horrified, she saw the raw wounds where they once were. In disbelief, she broke down, screaming and crying in agony. Her glorious wings, the very essence of her identity and power, were taken from her. She was no longer the radiant winged fairy princess. Meanwhile, Stefan returned to the kingdom, carrying Maleficent's severed wings. He stood before the dying king and declared, "I've kept my promise." The king, pleased by the proof, took the wings and fulfilled his vow. He crowned Stefan the new ruler of the kingdom. And just like that, Stefan's dream came true, built not on honor, but betrayal. While Stefan lived his dream, crowned in glory and greed, far away in the enchanted forest, Maleficent wandered alone. Heartbroken and powerless, she mourned the loss of her wings. Without them, she could no longer fly, she was no longer the fairy she once was. As she walked through the forest, deep in thought, she came across a hunter aiming an arrow at a helpless crow. She couldn't bear the sight. With a wave of her hand, she used her magic to transform the crow into a man. The startled hunter screamed and fled in terror. The newly transformed man looked at Maleficent, astonished. "Thank you," he said. "But, why would you do this?" Maleficent paused, her voice soft. "I don't know," she replied. "Something in my heart felt for you." Grateful and deeply moved, the man bowed his head. "Then I will serve you for the rest of my life. Whatever you ask of me, I will obey." Maleficent agreed. She gave him a name, Djéval. From that day on, Djéval became her loyal companion. He flew across kingdoms and brought her news from the outside world. Through him, Maleficent learned the painful truth: Stefan had stolen her wings, just to become king. That betrayal shattered what little hope she had left in humanity. Her trust in people was gone, and her heart, once full of kindness, turned bitter. Back in the kingdom, Stefan had married the late king's daughter. Soon, a child was born to them, a baby girl. The castle burst into celebration. Joy filled the air. But no one suspected who was quietly making her way there. Maleficent. Slipping into the grand hall unnoticed, she stood before the cradle. Looking down at the newborn, she whispered, "You are so beautiful." Maleficent stood before the cradle, her voice turning cold and haunting. "When you turn 16, she declared, "you will prick your finger on the spindle of a spinning wheel, and die." Gasps echoed through the hall. Panic gripped the room. Stefan rushed forward, pleading, "No, please. Don't punish my daughter for my mistakes. Why take your revenge out on her?" Maleficent's eyes burned with pain and betrayal. "I was a girl once too, and you know exactly what you did to me." But deep within her, a small ember of mercy still flickered. Her tone softened slightly. "There is one way to break the curse," she said. "If she finds true love before sunset on her 16th birthday, her life will be spared." Then, without another word, she vanished. Stefan was left in despair. The weight of his guilt and fear pressing down on him. Desperate to protect his daughter, he summoned 3 tiny fairies, entrusting them with her safety. "Take her far from here," he commanded. "Raise her in secret. Do not return until her 16th birthday has passed. If she stays here, the curse will surely come true." With heavy hearts, the fairies took the baby and disappeared into the woods. Meanwhile, Stefan, tormented by fear and obsession, prepared to invade the forest to destroy Maleficent once and for all. But when his soldiers reached the border, they were stopped. Maleficent had sealed the forest with powerful magic. no one could enter. The path to vengeance was now blocked. No human could step foot into the enchanted forest anymore. Maleficent had sealed it with powerful magic. Far from the kingdom, deep in the woods, lived the daughter of King Stefan, Princess Aurora. The three small fairies who had taken her were meant to protect and raise her in secret. But they were careless, clumsy, and often unaware of the dangers around them. Maleficent, however, knew exactly where the child was. She had kept her eyes on Aurora from the beginning. At first, she only wanted to frighten the child, show her that she wasn't welcome. But something unexpected happened. Every time Maleficent appeared, the little girl would smile, not with fear, but with joy. Little by little, Maleficent's hardened heart began to soften. Because deep down, she was not a monster. She had once been a kind and noble fairy, compassion still lived within her. And while the fairies were often too distracted to notice danger, Maleficent was always watching. When Aurora slipped near cliffs, tumbled from trees, or wandered too far, it was Maleficent who saved her, again and again, from the shadows. As time passed, Aurora grew into a bright and beautiful young girl. Now she was 15, just 1 year away from her cursed 16th birthday. The fairies, sensing time was running out, took her to live inside a new cottage, one hidden behind a protective boundary. But none of them realized that Maleficent had already become more than just a watcher. She had become something like a godmother. Aurora's new home was surrounded by towering woods, thick and wild, completely cut off from the outside world. Like Maleficent once had, Aurora had never seen what lay beyond the forest. Her heart filled with curiosity, always wondering what was out there. One day, drawn by that wonder, she wandered past the edge of the trees, gazing into the unknown. Suddenly, she felt something, someone, watching her. "Who's there?" she called out. "Come out. I have so many questions." And from the shadows, Maleficent stepped forward. As their eyes met, Aurora gasped, not in fear, but with joy. "It's you," she cried. "You've been the one watching over me since I was a baby." Her eyes lit up with realization. "Why didn't you ever show yourself before? You're my godmother, aren't you? I know you." She glanced at the crow nearby and smiled. "And him, I always liked him too." Maleficent was stunned. She hadn't expected warmth or affection. But Aurora's words touched something deep inside her. As I told you, Maleficent was a good fairy. Her heart, once hardened by betrayal, began to overflow with love for the girl she once cursed. Their bond grew quickly. They played together, laughed together, and spoke for hours, just like a mother and daughter. But as Aurora slept peacefully each night, Maleficent stayed awake, haunted by what she had done. She tried to undo the curse. Using all the magic she had, she attempted to take it back. But it was no use. The curse she cast long ago could not be broken. Especially now, with her 16th birthday drawing near. Worried and desperate, Maleficent made one final wish. That true love would find Aurora, before it was too late. The fairies began to worry. They thought perhaps Aurora had figured it out, that her real parents were still alive, and she wanted to return to the kingdom after her birthday. But before that day could come, they decided to reveal the truth. They told Aurora everything. About the curse. About the dark fairy who cast it. And how she would fall into an eternal sleep on her 16th birthday. And that fairy, one of them whispered, is Maleficent. Aurora was stunned. The words hit her like thunder. "No, that can't be," she said, her voice trembling. "She's not evil. She's my godmother." Devastated, Aurora ran through the forest, tears in her eyes, until she found Maleficent. Looking up at her with disbelief, she asked, "Is it true? Is what they said true?" Maleficent looked at her with sorrow and tenderness. "Yes," she admitted softly. It's true. I cursed you when you were a baby. She took a step closer. But my heart has changed. I was blinded by pain and revenge. I did it because of what your father did to me, not because of you. Her voice cracked. I never wanted you to be hurt. I love you, Aurora. I truly do. Though Aurora could feel the sincerity in her words, she was overwhelmed with emotion. I need time, she whispered, and then turned and ran. She made her way to the castle, her true home. As she entered the grand halls, she threw herself into her father's arms. Father. I've missed you so much, she said, her voice trembling. I always felt so alone. Furious, King Stefan turned to the fairies and shouted. Why would you bring her back now, when the curse is about to be fulfilled? Panicked and desperate, he ordered his guards. Send her away. Lock her in a room. Remove anything sharp, anything dangerous. And no one is allowed to enter. But no matter how strong the walls, no matter how many guards stood watch, the curse could not be stopped. As the sun rose on Aurora's 16th birthday, a strange force began to pull her, soft, silent, and unstoppable. Her eyes glazed over, her steps light and slow, she moved as if in a trance. Guided by the power of the curse, she found her way through dark halls and hidden passageways, until she reached a secret room. Inside, an old spinning wheel sat waiting, its sharp needle gleaming in the dim light. Without hesitation, Aurora reached out. Her finger touched the spindle. And in an instant, she collapsed, falling into a deep, magical sleep. King Stefan was devastated. He stood helplessly beside her, grief and rage tearing at him. His daughter, lost to the curse he had tried so hard to prevent. Far away, Maleficent felt the moment too. As Princess Aurora lay still in her deep, enchanted sleep, one of the fairies stood beside her and turned to King Stefan. You are her father, she said softly. Try kissing her forehead. Maybe your love can break the curse. But Stefan shook his head slowly, guilt heavy in his eyes. No, he muttered. I could never be anyone's true love. I betrayed Maleficent, and this, he looked at his daughter, this is the cost. Soon after, Maleficent arrived with the young boy, the one Aurora had met in the woods. He stepped forward, hopeful, and leaned in close to kiss Aurora. But nothing happened. She didn't wake. Silence filled the room. Maleficent's heart sank. He wasn't her true love. Tears welled up in her eyes as she stepped beside Aurora. Gently, she knelt down and whispered, I'm so sorry, my sweet girl. I had no idea. I never meant for this to happen. Her voice trembled. I will miss you more than words. Your laughter, your light. I will carry it in my heart forever. Then, with tears falling, she kissed Aurora's forehead, softly, tenderly. She turned to leave. But suddenly, a voice called out from behind her. Stop. Godmother. Maleficent froze. Slowly, she turned around. Aurora was awake. Her eyes open, filled with life and love. It was her. It was Maleficent. She had been the true love all along, the one who loved Aurora deeply, selflessly, and without condition. Overwhelmed with emotion, Aurora ran to Maleficent and embraced her. I want to live with you, she said, smiling through tears. Back in the forest, where I truly belong. Maleficent's heart was full, until everything changed in an instant. Out of nowhere, King Stefan's soldiers threw a heavy net over them, an iron net. Maleficent screamed in pain as it burned into her skin. Iron was poison to fairies. She struggled, but the magic draining net left her powerless. Once again, she was caught, and helpless. Trapped beneath the burning iron net, Maleficent cried out in pain. But she wasn't alone. With a whisper of magic, she called out to her loyal companion, Djävul. In an instant, the crow transformed into a fearsome black dragon. With a roar, the dragon unleashed torrents of fire, scattering Stefan's soldiers in terror. The blaze swept through the castle halls, burning everything in its path. As chaos erupted, Djävul clawed through the net, freeing Maleficent at last. But just then, King Stefan arrived. Clad in iron armor and surrounded by his remaining men, he stormed forward, determined to destroy Maleficent once and for all. Meanwhile, in another part of the castle, Aurora was searching desperately. That's when she saw something: Maleficent's wings, trapped inside a glass case. But they were moving, fluttering, as if they sensed she was near. Aurora rushed to them and opened the case. The wings soared out, free at last, and flew across the castle, straight to their rightful owner. As they reached Maleficent, the wings fused back into her. Power surged through her body. She rose, magnificent and reborn. Now with her full strength, she lifted into the sky and flew straight toward Stefan. But she didn't strike. Instead, she carried him high above the castle, holding him by his armor. She had the chance to drop him, to end it all. But she didn't. She chose mercy. Yet Stefan couldn't let go of his hatred. He lunged at her in midair, trying to kill her one last time. They struggled, and began falling from the tower. In desperation, Stefan grabbed her wings, trying to hold her down. But at the last moment, Maleficent spread her wings wide, soaring into the sky. Stefan, still clinging to vengeance, plummeted to the ground below. And with that, the greedy king was no more. The next morning, peace returned. Maleficent stood at the edge of the forest and slowly lifted the spell she had once cast. The magical boundaries vanished. Sunlight broke through the trees. Flowers bloomed. The land came back to life. She turned to Aurora with warmth in her eyes. "This forest needs a queen," she said. "And that queen is you." With that, the kingdom and the enchanted forest were united, light and magic at last in harmony. And they all lived happily, together. Make sure this isn't our last scene together. Hit subscribe and let's roll into the next one.